What's up guys, back again with another tutorial. So today we're going to take that welding table and create a cut list. And what a cut list is essentially a breakdown of exactly how much material you need, how many quantity, how long each piece is. So imagine taking your table and creating a description of each piece in an Excel spreadsheet list. So when you go to like the metal supply store, you'll know exactly how much to order, so you're not overbuying or underbuying. You're buying enough to create your fabrication project. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's get into SolidWorks. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go into the advanced folder. Right now I actually have the my own default template that I customly made. I'll actually provide that in the link below in the project file folder. So make sure to download that and then save that to your file location. So let's open up the drawing document. And now you want to actually hover over this box, hit insert model. Let's browse for it. In our particular case, this is the welding table master. Sure, let's hit rebuild. And you can already see that it's too big. So we'll scale that guy down to, well, let's try 112. Let's put this in the ISO view and let's make this shaded with edges. And let's also make that high quality. And you want to make this high quality is so that when we wrap this all up and we PDF this, you want to make sure that the resolution is clean. And if you don't select that, sometimes the lines can be kind of jagged. So that's just a tip. All right, so now that we have it there, hold down Alt, shift it over to the right somewhere. That's where it's gonna live, and then go into edit sheet format. And we're gonna delete this here because we don't really need that for our cut list. If we were doing a single part, I would leave that there, but we're not. We're doing a complete cut list component. So now we wanna go into Weldment Cutlist, select our part, keep everything on the left the same. Don't need to change that. And now snap the table to the far left. And now you can see within this table, you have the item number, the quantity, the description, and the length. And these lengths automatically come up for weldment features such as the tubes, any type of tube, anything in the weldment default SolidWorks weldments. So that's a pretty cool thing. So if you look at this, let's say like we go to item 3, you see this says TR. TR actually means tube rectangular. That's just a standard nomenclature that I like to use to keep it consistent with the default profiles in SolidWorks. And then you also have TS, which is tube squared. So those are just short names for the tube profiles. And then if you look over to the right, you have the length, and these automatically pop up, which are great because now you know exactly how long each leg is. 42. So if you were to go buy material, you just take this 4 times this 42.5 and you'll know exactly how much material you need in this particular size. So that's one cool thing that Weldment does. It automatically pops this up for you. And sometimes you get this blank and you're wondering, well, how come it didn't automatically pop that up for us? That's actually a good thing for us because I'll actually show you how to go into this and update this so that you can custom name all these to your liking. But before we do that, I need to know exactly what is item 4. One way to find out is to go into the auto balloons, select the part, and automatically propagate this for us. And you can see there, item 4 is this cross tube. Now I will say one downfall of automatic ballooning is that it only propagates these balloons based off what's in frame, or pretty much what it sees. Anything underneath this table, the balloons won't pop up. But I'll do a quick workaround to show you exactly how we modify that. So in order to do that, what we want to do is we want to make this tabletop transparent. So let's go into the part file. Okay, so now that we're in the part file, we're going to select the top plate there and we're going to make that transparent. So now we can see through. Hit Control S to save. So now we can actually see what tubes were hidden that we need to call out. So it looks like these pieces here were hidden. So let's zoom in on that. And this is more of a manual approach. So we're gonna go into balloons, hover over exactly what you want to be selected, And if I just select it there, it actually selects the wrong thing. It actually selects one, which we already have a repeat, which is just the tabletop. We don't want that. So let's undo that. So hit Control Z. So let's go back and go to balloon, hover over, right click, and then select other, and then scroll down until you see the desired selection. So we're gonna use this face here, and we're gonna go 14. Because you can see here, 14 doesn't show up, so we need to manually add it. And I'm gonna add the rest of the remaining parts. So I'm gonna zip through this real quick. Okay, now that we have all our balloons filled out, all 19 parts have been filled out. Let's just clean up this line a little bit. We're gonna add a magnetic line. We'll just zip that through like that, and then it will grab it, and then we'll just do some rearranging to make it look cleaner. Okay, so now we have all our balloons matching to all our parts. What we wanna do now is go to item 4, and item 4 is going to be this cross-section tube here. So let's fix this empty spot. So let's go back into the part, and this is 4, and we're gonna go to our cut list menu, drop down, and select that again so we see what gets highlighted, and there it goes. This is the one that we need to change. So go to properties, and you see why it's blank, because there's nothing in the description. So this guy here seems to be, I believe this is let's double check, TR 2x1 and 1.5 by 14 gauge. So let's update that to match. Properties, TR 2x1.5 by 0.083, and we're gonna say 14 because we know that guy is 14 gauge. Let's make these capitalized to keep everything consistent. Okay, so as you can see, it updated it in the list. Hit Control S, and we'll go back, and voila, the empty spot is filled in. Cool. So now we want to also look at these generic names called sheet. We actually want to name it something so we know exactly what it is. So item 13 is going to be looks like, I'm not quite sure where it's going, but I believe that is the mounting plate for the casters, but let's double check. Let's select that. Yep, it's 13. And then the other sheet is 17. So 17, let's look for 17. 17 is the flat bar holder for the angle grinders. So let's actually make that a little bit more easy to see by deleting that and adding a balloon here. It's a lot easier to see and shift things around. So let's update the descriptions for those sheet pieces. All right, let's go back into the part. And let's start with this flat bar first. So we know that this piece is the flat bar for the angle grinder. So right now it won't let me select anything, no problem. Just unselect this here and scroll back over. And we're gonna call this flat bar angle grinder. Cool, so we know that goes to the angle grinder. Now that that's done, we also wanna go to the caster mounting plates, and let's update that as well. Unselect the sheet, scroll back over. We're gonna call this plate caster. So we know that the plate for the casters. Cool, now that we got that out of the way, hit Control S to save. And there you can see it. Now we have all our pieces updated, but for some reason we're missing the length for these pieces. And to do that, and the reason why they're not there is because these aren't weldment profiles. They're actually, I would say, custom sheet metal parts. But there's a quick workaround so that they automatically pop up. In order to do that, what I like to do is go to the this column, insert column to the right, actually select that column, and if you look over to the sidebar, you'll scroll down and go to cut list property, and right now select bounding box, and we're gonna name this plate length. All right, and as you see, now we know the length of, for example, the top plate. Now we need to know the width and the thickness. So we're gonna add another column. Just like that. Gonna cut this and go to bounding box width. And we're gonna name that plate width. Okay, and now we're gonna also do another column, and that's gonna be the plate thickness. So we're gonna go sheet metal thickness, and we're just gonna name that plate thickness. There you go. Yeah, you can see it's kind of eating into our balloon figure here. So let's kind of rescale this a little bit so that it's out of the way. So there you go. You have we now know that our table plate top is 53 by 30 by 0.25 thickness. So that's gonna help us out when we organize everything when we're ready to order our parts. And so far for the rest. Okay. And another option is, so let's say we wanted to define this plate. Instead of having it automatically pop up here, we wanted to, let's say, have its own individual drawing document. And this may be beneficial because maybe you're handing this off to a fabricator. He needs to figure out exactly how long he needs to cut it and where he needs to bend it. And in order to do that, we're gonna go into a new part. Okay, and then we're gonna hit S as my shortcut, but we're gonna look for insert part. You can either find it here or you can type it up here and look for insert part. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert this welding table. And over in the left hand, we're gonna make sure we select sheet metal information. Very important. Sure. And because we're only interested in just this tab, what we want to do is hit S and look for delete/keep body. And we're gonna just keep only this here. So we only just want to keep that body and delete everything else. And there you go. And now because we selected the sheet metal properties in the beginning, if you look over to sheet metal, you can see that this has a flattened profile, and that's gonna help us out when we make our individual drawing document. So we're gonna call this flat bar helmet because it's the flat bar for the helmet. Okay, it's gonna be its own part file. And then we're gonna hop back into the drawing document and actually add a new page. And that's okay. And I'm gonna give you guys another template, but we're gonna give this new page. Hit okay, yes. And then we're gonna go over and you're gonna insert that flat bar. So let's look for it there. And for now, we're just gonna do an ISO view first. Scale that down to, let's go 1:1, sure, why not? And then now we're gonna do the right view. And let's scale that down to 1:1. And we can dimension it this way. So this is one way of doing it. And we're also gonna add a flat pattern, which is what I really wanted to get to. So this guy, we're gonna also make this 1:1, and then we're gonna rotate this 90. Okay. And then we're gonna hold Alt to, actually it locked onto the part, the alignment, no problem. We're just gonna unlock it, break alignment, hold Alt, shift it down. And then we're gonna, and then we also wanna give this a dimension. So this flat bar, we know that if it's unbent, it's gonna be about 5.92. And if we go back to our cut list, and you look at the flat bar welding helmet and you look at the length 5.92. So that's just a way to double check to make sure, hey, my table matches my actual flat pattern. Okay, and so if someone were to make this, they're gonna wanna know the length. They're gonna wanna know the thick, how wide is it. They're gonna wanna know how thick it is. And they're gonna wanna know where to bend it. So we're gonna just quickly add those features in. And because we have this up by 90, we technically don't have to go into this and dimension it to 90. You can if you want, but let's just do it for the sake of just consistency, why not? And there you go. And this is gonna be one way to call out a custom sheet metal part if you didn't wanna make a table. And so like I said, this is only mainly for if you're gonna hand this off to a fabricator to have them build it, then you're gonna do it this way. The other way, this is just more for, hey, I'm gonna order this material. I need to know how much material I need. Okay, we can probably call it quits right here, but I like to actually make things more prettier. I'm a little bit OCD, I guess. So what I like to do is kind of like organize the sheet. So let's do that real quick. Let's put all the two rectangulars in one section, and then the two squares in another section, all the plate pieces in another section. So I'm gonna shift this guy up there. 2x1, 2x1. And is there any other 2x1s? Nope. So that's next. Let's scroll that up. And this just makes it easier so that when I do my addition, multiplication, whatever, I know that I'm gonna need 4 of these times 22.5, add that to the 53 of this, and then 30 of this times 2. So this way I know exactly a total how much 2x1 that I need for this. It just kind of keeps everything nice and organized. Okay, I like that. It looks a lot cleaner. Cool, we have our plates in one area, we have our perforated plate, and we have our flat bars in another area. So everything's nice and clean. And I'm gonna wanna format this to just my taste, make it a little bit smaller, and you know, shrink it down a little bit to here. And okay, that looks good. And let's actually make this top row bold. And let's keep this all in one line so that makes it nice and clean. Okay, and there you guys have it. It's a cut list, and you can move this guy down here or up here. But this pretty much represents all the parts you need to order in a nice, organized list. And I actually want to make these all capitalized just to kind of follow the rules of engineering documents. So let's go up to here and hit all capitalized. There you go. And I want to make these annotations in these balloons the same size. So let's go to System Options, Annotations, Fonts, and let's go to 8 as well. Let's keep everything consistent. Okay, now that we have that, we can now save out as a PDF. You guys are pretty much done. And let's view this after. And that is it. This is our PDF, and this is what you'll have. So when you go down to your metal supply shop, you'll bring this list and you'll be able to order all your parts and not overbuy or underbuy. I usually like to take this list and add 10% just because I'll be cutting these pieces, and just in case I make a mistake, I have additional extra. All right, that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Ratha Sochenda. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.